Today's WorldNet Daily Exclusive audio article is entitled, "The Push for Democracy Will Most Certainly Heat Up and Not End Well." Now that the election is over, Trump is out of office and Biden is in, thoughts have turned to governing. Well, maybe not governing. More like executive order fiat. It seems the only measure that Congress has voted on thus far is impeachment. Still, if you were to believe the dems, they were the ones we had to elect to restore our democracy. And every time they mention the word democracy, one or many of us right-wing radicals feel compelled to remind America that we are not, in fact, a democracy, but a constitutional representative republic. Okay, maybe we'd just say we are a republic. And we are a republic for a reason. The founders knew the difference, which is why they painstakingly developed the form of government that we still have, and at least for now has stood the test of time. Yet for years, Democrats, and frankly some Republicans, have purposely or mistakenly described America as a democracy. Back on November 5, 2011, Michigan Representative the late John Conyers gave a speech to the Metro Atlanta Democratic Socialists of America. Gee, I wonder where they stand on the issue. Anywho, among the inane ramblings of John, "Read the bill," Conyers were gems like, quote, "This system, this capitalist system is broken and may be nearly unrepairable," unquote. But he also said, quote, "We're helping make America the democracy that it has yet to become," unquote. Now, some might conclude that Conyers and hundreds of other Democrat politicians are just stupid, that they don't know the difference. But they're not stupid, particularly the older Democrats. They know full well what they advocate for, and it's not the utopian democracy they preach, it's tyranny. More recently, on a much larger stage, our president, Lunchbox Joe, exclaimed virtually the same thing, although he had better speechwriters than did Conyers. During his inaugural address, Biden proclaimed, quote, "Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. The will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile, and at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed," unquote. Has it now? Conyers, Biden, Pelosi, et al. May or may not have known, but son of a gun, if it wasn't old Karl Marx himself, who was also a huge fan of democracy, because he knew, like did our founders, what it would eventually lead to. Marx said, quote, "Democracy is the road to socialism," unquote, and socialism is a mere stone's throw to tyranny. As I mentioned earlier, the founders knew this and were quite clear of their feelings toward democracy. It's mob rule. Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Liberty is a well-armed lamb contesting the vote. Some have attributed this to Ben Franklin, but I can't confirm that. Alexander Hamilton, quote, "It has been observed that a pure democracy, if it were practicable, would be the most perfect government. Experience has proved that no position is more false than this. The ancient democracies in which the people themselves deliberated never possessed one good feature of government. Their very character was tyranny, their figure deformity," unquote. James Madison, quote, "Democracies have ever been spectacles of turbulence and contention, have ever been found incompatible with personal security or the rights of property, and have in general been as short in their lives as they have been violent in their death," unquote. John Adams, quote, "Democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide," unquote. And James Madison once again, "Democracy is the right of the people to choose their own tyrant," unquote. Thank you for listening.